It started as an ordinary Friday morning. But by 10 a.m., 2 children, Lilly and Jack Sullivan, were gone without a trace. Their toys were still in the living room, their shoes still by the door. Yet somehow, the house had fallen silent. This is a haunting timeline of Malehya Brooks-Murray's final hours before her children vanished. A series of quiet moments, ordinary choices, and unexplained gaps that would soon become the center of a mystery still unsolved. To truly grasp what unfolded on the morning of May 2nd, we have to rewind, back to the calm, almost ordinary days leading up to it. On Wednesday, April 30th, the Sullivan household appeared to be just another family moving through life's small routines. Malehya Brooks-Murray, her partner Daniel Martell, and the 2 children, Lilly and Jack, spent a day running errands across Pictou County. There was nothing unusual about their movements. Surveillance footage from that evening, time-stamped at 10:19 p.m., showed the family returning home. The grainy video captured them pulling into the driveway, unloading shopping bags, and stepping into the house under the glow of the porch light. To any outsider, it looked like a perfectly normal family ending a long day. The following afternoon, May 1st, more footage surfaced. This time, from a Dollarama in nearby New Glasgow at 2:25 p.m. Malahya was seen browsing the toy aisle with Lilly, while Daniel and Jack moved between a checkout and a nearby display. Witnesses later described the family as quiet but happy. No signs of argument, no tension. They looked, by all appearances, peaceful. Investigators would later pore over those few minutes of footage frame by frame, searching for anything, a look, a gesture, an exchange, that might hint at what was to come. They found nothing. That evening, the family returned home. Neighbors recalled faint sounds of laughter drifting from the back porch around sunset. The night was calm, cool, uneventful, and quiet enough that no one nearby remembered hearing a single disturbance. Dinner plates were later found washed and stacked neatly by the sink, the children's pajamas folded at the end of their beds. Nothing seemed out of place. Yet, with chilling hindsight, it would become clear that was the last time anyone saw Lilly and Jack Sullivan alive. By the next morning, the normalcy of those 2 days would shatter completely, leaving behind a trail of confusion, missing hours, and questions that still have no answers. The morning began quietly, almost deceptively so. According to reports, around 6 a.m., Malehya Brooks-Murray logged into the school attendance system from her phone and marked both Lilly and Jack as absent for the day. She told officials later that Lilly had been coughing through the night and needed rest. On paper, it was a normal act, the kind of small, routine gesture any parent makes without a second thought. Yet in hindsight, it would become one of the most scrutinized details in the entire case. After recording the absences, Malehya said she returned to bed with her infant, trying to squeeze in a few more hours of sleep. She later told investigators that she could still hear the faint sounds of the children stirring, little footsteps padding down the hallway, the familiar clink of kitchen cupboards opening, maybe the sound of whispered conversation between siblings. It was a soundtrack of an ordinary morning in the Sullivan home, comforting, predictable, harmless. Then, suddenly, the sound stopped. When she woke again, the house was silent, the kind of silence that feels wrong. She called out their names. No response. She checked the bedrooms, the bathroom, the living room. Empty. The back door was closed, the windows locked, and there were no obvious signs of movement outside. No muddy footprints on the porch. No half-finished bowls of cereal on the table. Nothing. The home was still and intact, as though the children had simply vanished from inside it. Investigators would later determine that the disappearance occurred sometime between sunrise and mid-morning, a narrow window of time, perhaps less than 2 hours. Yet within that brief period, 2 small children disappear without a sound, without a struggle, and without a single trace of forced entry or departure. It defied logic. Search dogs couldn't pick up a consistent trail. Neighbors heard nothing unusual. Every clock in the house kept ticking forward. Indifferent to the moment, everything changed. In that small sliver of morning, between an ordinary login to a school app and the frantic 911 call that followed, Lilly and Jack Sullivan were simply gone. At 10:01 a.m., the quiet of the Sullivan home shattered with a single call. Malehya's voice, trembling, panic, and raw, came through the 911 line. She told dispatchers her children were missing. She'd searched every room, every corner of the yard, even ventured into the patch of woods just beyond the back fence. But Lilly and Jack were nowhere to be found. Within 26 minutes, RCMP units were on scene. By 10:27 a.m., the rural property was crawling with officers, search dogs, and volunteers. Drones swept overhead. Deputies fanned out in every direction, calling the children's names into the trees, hoping for a cry, a movement, something. Then a flicker of hope. A small fragment of pink fabric caught in a bush near the driveway. Another piece, deep in the woods, fluttering in the wind. Family later confirmed it was from Lily's blanket, but that's all they found. No footprints, no tire tracks, no trail leading away. Every clue felt like a whisper, something once clear, now fading. And as the hours stretched into evening, that whisper turned to silence, the kind that sits heavy, like the woods themselves are holding on to a secret. That night, just after midnight, Malehya's voice once again reached the RCMP dispatch line, this time steadier, but threaded with exhaustion. She told officers she had a new thought. Maybe the children's biological father, Cody Sullivan, had come for them. Perhaps he'd taken them quietly, without warning. It was a glimmer of logic in an otherwise senseless mystery. Investigators immediately pursued the lead. They tracked Cody down, interviewed him, verified his whereabouts, and examined his vehicle and phone records. Within hours, it was clear he hadn't been anywhere near Pictou County that morning. The theory collapsed, leaving another void where an answer should have been. Over the next few days, Malehya turned to public for help. Her social media posts were desperate and raw. Photos of Lilly and Jack smiling, their faces splashed across timelines with captions begging for information, for prayers, for anything. Each post drew hundreds of shares, each comment filled with empathy and fear. Meanwhile, the search effort exploded. Local residents, some who didn't even know the family, joined organized teams trudging through the cold spring woods. They swept creeks with sticks, scanned ditches, climbed ridges, calling out the children's names. Helicopters droned overhead in K. 9 units traced every possible path leading out of property. RCMP divers scoured nearby ponds and rivers, methodically mapping underwater terrain in the hope of finding a clue. But day after day, the results were the same. Nothing. No footprints. No articles of clothing. No sign of a struggle or flight. And as days blurred into weeks, that grim realization settled over the town. There hadn't been a single verified sighting of Lilly or Jack Sullivan since the morning they vanished. Only absence, only questions, and a community refusing to stop searching, even when hope began to feel like the only thing left to find. As the days stretched into months, investigators began turning their focus inward, back to the smallest, most ordinary moments of that morning. They dissected everything, frame by frame, word by word, from the 6 a.m. login marking the children absent, to the precise minute the 911 call came through. Nothing was taken at face value anymore. Why had Malahya marked both Lilly and Jack absent so early? Before breakfast, before school hours, before anyone else had even laid eyes on them that day. It was an unusual decision, and investigators couldn't ignore the timing. It suggested premeditation, or simply a mother planning ahead. But in a case with no witnesses, every action carried weight. The silence inside the house became another puzzle. No signs of a break-in. No overturned furniture. No cries for help reported by neighbors. The front and back doors were found locked. Windows intact. If someone had taken the children, how had they done so without a sound, without leaving a single mark? Then came the question that echoed through every interview. How could 2 small children, just 4 and 6, slip out of home in broad daylight and disappear completely within minutes? The uncomfortable truth is that the only complete version of that morning, from the moment the kids woke up to the instant they were gone, comes solely from Malehya's account. There are no corroborating witnesses, no video footage, no physical evidence to fill in the gaps. RCMP have never named her a suspect, but they've also never ruled her out. Behind closed doors, investigators continue to question her timeline, her choices, and the strange calm threaded through her earliest statements. For now, her version of events stands, fragile, uncertain, and shadowed by the possibility that the truth might be buried somewhere within it. Lilly and Jack Sullivan's disappearance isn't just another unsolved case. It's a scar carved into the heart of a small community, one that refuses to fade. It's a story replayed endlessly in the minds of those who knew them, haunting in its stillness. Every